Hi guys, welcome to the Sugar Detox day one. So I'm going to share with you the nutrition plan today, but also want you to understand the kind of science behind it and what we're really focusing on. So compared to most of our programs, which is more of a longer term, this is a little bit of a kind of quick fix, a kickstart, a cold turkey if you like. And although we need a sustainable approach long term, I do find it's often useful to really immerse yourself into a program and really make as much changes in one go as you possibly can to get the momentum going. Okay, so we're going to go into that. Make sure, first of all, you've written down your goals and how you want to feel as a result of a healthier lifestyle, because that's really important. Because when you're challenged to do things, they're the things that will kind of spark you, and you know, I will encourage you to remember why you're doing it all in the first place. Okay, and also make sure you take a waist measurement, because you won't see the changes in the scales as much as you will see the changes in your waist measurement. So make sure you've done a waist measurement using the video that I've sent you to get your baseline level. Okay, so with that said, on with the program. So our goal of Sugar Detox is to get your blood sugars controlled. And I'm going to talk to you about the science of this over the week. But today, I just want to go through like what we're going to do, okay? The reasons behind it I'm going to talk about later on. Now, I would like you to go start this as soon as you can. I would like you to do it for at least 2 weeks. So if this week is getting prepared and then next week is starting 100%, that's fine. But this week, I want you to be working towards it. If you want to start today, tomorrow with it, then please do so. Often it's about planning and preparation and mentally being in the zone, but also with your preparation as well. Okay, so really have a think about that. I'm going to copy the program into the group so you can print it off, have a read through. And you know, it's really important to plan. It can be super simple. Super simple meals will work really well. And if you go for quite boring meals for the first week or two just to get going, that's fine, because it will give you the momentum and you'll feel good for doing it. But if you need to be a little bit more complex with your meals and have more variety, you need to plan a little bit more. So are you someone that's going to do loads of planning and then have lots of variety in your meals? Or are you someone that's just going to basically be super simple with how you do it? Okay, either way, it's up to you. Our goal, guys, is to get your blood sugar under control. So we have to reduce not just your sugar intake overall, but also your starchy foods that convert to sugar when you consume them. Okay, and that's the key thing. So here we go with the program. So this is 2 weeks. So we're going to follow it closely for 2 weeks. So if you start today, then you're going to follow it for 2 weeks. And then we modify it after that. So number one is to drink 100 milliliters of water per half a stone of body weight. So for example, if you weigh 10.5 stone, it's 2.1 liters. Now build up to that. That's not a today thing. That's like a, you know, if you're miles away from it, increase by 20% today, another 20% in a couple of days, another 20% in a couple of days, and gradually work up to it. But that's number one. Number two, you can have as much meat, poultry, fish, and eggs as needed to feel satisfied at every meal. You can also have unlimited vegetables with low glycemic load at every meal, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. So essentially, you can consume as much meat, fish, eggs, and vegetables as you would like to feel satisfied. Okay. What we're avoiding is the starches, so we'll come and cover that. You can eat as much healthy fats, butter, avocado, olive oil, coconut, or fish oil as desired. So don't be afraid to use good fats in your meal. In fact, I will talk to you at some point about why it's important that you absolutely do have to have some fats in your meal. The only thing that I would advise caution on is nuts, because if you take a bag of nuts, and if you're someone that could just basically get through the whole bag without realizing, that can then be quite calorific. So, you know, you might want to portion out to just a handful for a snack, for example. What we're eliminating is all potatoes, rice, pasta, bread, cereals, and other starches. We're eliminating grains, we're eliminating sugar. So just zero. My golden rule, guys, is if you have to ask the question, what about something? It's probably a no, okay? It's common sense, you know, broccoli is fine. Chicken is fine, you know, that's kind of common sense. Eliminate dairy, so the exceptions are eggs, cream, and cottage cheese. Eggs aren't dairy anyway. cream and cottage cheese are higher in fat and lower in the milk proteins and the milk sugars, which is why they are allowable. Now, the reason why we eliminate the grains and the dairy, though, guys, as well, not just from a fat loss perspective, but also because they are what we call trigger foods. Now, trigger foods cause a lot of bloating and inflammation, and as a result, they cause a degree of water retention as well. We're going to eliminate alcohol with the exception of a glass of red wine a day if you're desperate for it. And also, we're going to try not to have too much fruit. So 2 portions of fruit per day, ideally berries and apples. So what we want to try and do is focus more on vegetables rather than fruits. You're going to reduce your tea and coffee intake to 1 to 2 cups per day without sugar. The reason for that is that caffeine actually increases your blood sugar. Although it doesn't contain sugar, it can increase your blood sugar. Okay, so that's something else. And we're going to avoid calorie-containing drinks. So hot water and lemon is okay. Herbal teas are okay. Black coffee is okay. Obviously, 1 to 2 cups a day. Now, if you want to, this is more optional, but you can use MyFitnessPal to track your intake through the day. Your goal is, if you use MyFitnessPal, is to stay between 50 and 100 grams of carbohydrates every day. So further instructions: take time to eat your food. Eat protein at every meal, even if it's just snacks. Eat vegetables at every meal. Avoid eating late at night, especially with an hour of bedtime. And just to re-clarify, no pasta, no cereal, no grains, no sugar, no rice, no potatoes. Keys to success: get rid of any foods that don't fit with the plan. If it's in the house, then you'll probably have it at some point. Plan the week ahead and go shopping for all the food that you need. If you're not preparing your own lunch, find out where you can get suitable food in advance, wherever you are. Now, if you're at home, it's probably a good time to do this because it's probably easier for you to do it, to be more in control. Take healthy snacks to work every day. If possible, get the entire household to follow the plan to support you or ensure you can prepare meals for everyone with relative ease. So generally, most of the meals that you might have, it might be meat with vegetables. And if you've got family, even a homemade curry, for example, or a casserole that doesn't have like the yogurt and it doesn't have, loads of carbs in there, actually is healthy. You just would avoid the rice and the breads. Instead of that, you'd have the vegetables, okay? But your family can have the rice and the bread. So that works, okay? Plan ahead. Foods to avoid: sugar, sweeteners, aspartame, which is a sweetener, pasta, wheat and gluten products, cookies, cakes, muffins, biscuits, honey, sugar, molasses, which is sugars, rice, fruit juices, frozen juices, concentrate juices, mixed drinks, alcohol, potatoes, sweet potatoes, yams, dried beans and lentils, processed oils, frozen foods, tofu, soy, cereal, oatmeal. So a lot of people think porridge. No, avoid it. Popcorn, candy, soft drinks, even diet drinks as well, guys. If in doubt, leave it out. Okay, so this is what you should be eating. Your best choices of meats are there, proteins, vegetables. So loads of vegetables you can have. Okay, fruits. These are the ones that you can have. What you do want to avoid is fruit juices, 2 portions a day. Nuts and seeds, a couple of handfuls a day. Avoid peanuts, which aren't actually a nut anyway. Avoid grains, avoid sugars. Beverages, they're the drink, ideally what we want you to drink. Olive oil, coconut oil and butter are your healthy fats, and you can use vinegars, lemons, limes, herbs, spices, but just avoid commercial dressings and glazes, okay? So breakfast choices: eggs, omelette, for example, cold meats, cooked meats, fish. You can have a smoothie with some protein powder. You can have low-fat cottage cheese. You could have plain yogurt with some fruit. For snacks, just leftovers, slices of cold cuts, a boiled egg, for example, a handful of nuts maybe with some fruit. Lunch options: protein with a salad. So chicken salad with some olive oil and balsamic vinegar, for example. You can do some homemade soups, not the commercial ones. Don't buy soups from the shops and have them. They'll be much higher in sugar. But you can make your own soups, and that will work really well for lunch options. And then dinner, again, protein source with salad and vegetables, using herbs and spices to make it more interesting. There's loads of recipes, guys, in our recipe book. And in fact, if you use our keto recipe book, all of those recipes work for this. So I'm going to attach that into the group as well. Okay, so there you go, guys. That is the program. And I will speak to you more this week about the science behind it and also about the mindset of it. Okay, but there you go.